I think that digital marketing is verticalizing into industries. So there's real estate agents and there's doctors and there's plumbers and there's e-commerce people. And even though the concepts of SEO and PPC are the same, social media are kind of like the same across all of those, because that's how a SaaS company looks at it. I think when you have these figureheads in each of these verticals, as opposed to figureheads that are the Facebook ads guy and the SEO person and the WordPress person, like instead of the functional dividing, I think that the dividing by industry leads itself to aligning around the figureheads, the lighthouse. Hey, Olga, how are you?
I'm well, I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, good. Awesome. Very happy.
I see that you closed all 3 rings. Is that correct? I see in the background, there is like this Apple Watch 3 rings.
Oh, that's just the Apple TV.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But I am exercising, so I feel good. Yeah.
So I'm very excited actually to talk to you finally. And the reason is I'm involved in everything brand related. And that means social, reputation, and then basically growing traffic in any. And I know that you've done some very interesting things, especially in in personal brand area, but just campaigns. And then once you mentioned this Las Vegas festival, also I realized that you had some cases in terms of reputation as well. So I'm just curious to discover more about the campaigns. I noticed last year, I think you were doing this campaign where you decided to order everything from Fiverr.
Yes.
You're doing some really creative stuff. I was wondering whether you could share some of the cases with me that could be maybe somehow related, especially reputation, social media, anything crazy that you're noticing that maybe could be somehow applicable to us. And also in the course of further calls to maybe brainstorm, I can bring someone from my social media team so we could maybe discuss more on how we can enhance our own social media presence, not as a SaaS tool, but more of to make ourselves much bigger than this. So.
Yeah. I love everything that you're saying. I have a lot of good ideas. I would love to show you, and I want to see what you think.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this moment to share some of these. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So have you heard of our model of inception and what inception is?
No. Well, I understand what inception is, but I think that you mean something more than, So the answer would be no.
The movie Inception is the dream inside the dream inside the dream.
Yes.
So if you want to influence somebody, you don't tell them because that would just be outright selling, but you have to make them believe it was their idea. So you have to play chess basically many, many steps ahead. And so let's say if I'm SEMrush and I want to get more people to use my tool, of course I can say, try my tool, a free trial, look at these features, all the things that SaaS companies do, right? But if I play Inception, I go one level up and I say, who are the people that I want to influence, who do they respect, right? And then I make content with them. But then I go one level up higher and I say, of the people that those people respect, who are the people that they respect that those people respect? Who are the very best people there? And then let's make content together with them. But let's not just make commercials. Right? Let's not make things that are obvious advertisements. Let's make things that are entertaining. Let's make things that have authority. Let's make things that people will share. Let's, put a 24-hour conference around the world on. Let's do something that's different, right? So it doesn't look like advertising.
Yeah.
So let me show you a few examples of that. And then I think some of these we can use for SEMrush very easily. And I have a lot of relationships that I'm happy to use for you as well and organize some of these things. So, my mission is to create the 1 million jobs. And so we're a quarter of the way there because of the VAs in the Philippines and the young adults and the house moms. So, we teach a lot of people digital marketing. So we just had, let me show you, yesterday we recorded for, AdWorld, right? So I'm speaking at the AdWorld thing.
Yes.
And then the other big organization is Digital Marketer, right? So I speak for Digital Marketer, right? I'm one of the top trainers there. So we did a podcast episode on the Perpetual Traffic podcast, which is the one for Digital Marketer, right? And we were talking about AdWorld and how you should sign up for AdWorld and all the good things we're going to learn at AdWorld. So this is a recording of the Zoom call we just had. And you'll see that in this call we just had that they say
something in the background.
They say good things about me. I say good things about them.
For sure. I don't think anybody's really pissed and challenge me on that. Because bet money within a fraction of a second, you're like, oh my God, this guy just gave away the farm.
Yeah, there's no trick. I've been doing this. So you can see this is like this guy who's supposedly the number one guy in Google Ads right now. Even though Perry Marshall's a good friend of mine, and tomorrow I'm going to go fly out and see him in Chicago because we're filming. But this guy's the guy being promoted right now for digital marketer, right? As how to use PPC tools, or how to run number one Google Ads agency. So then at the beginning of the podcast, he said this.
He's the most generous marketer in the world. And I really mean that.
And prolific.
Yeah. Well, and it's the amount of content you put is unreal. I don't even know if you're going to remember this. I had just signed up as an Infusionsoft certified partner. This is years ago. I was an infant in the digital marketing world, and somebody put me on the phone with you, and you were already like godlike, like everybody knew Dennis. And you spent an hour on the phone with me, and you were just drowning me in gifts. You're like, oh, dude, you need, this framework, this SOP, this documentation.
So then I have this guy saying it on two of the largest podcasts in marketing. The digital marketer is very big. AdWorld's very big. And I wasn't even asking for him to say these kinds of things. This is the very beginning of the podcast where they're introducing me, right? Look.
Presentation today. But the big thing is the more you hear really sound concepts, the more they become a part of who you are. And so hopefully this will be a great introduction to his ideas here and how he's been able to transform a lot of his customers, his own ad accounts.
So this was not meant to be promotion of me. They just ended up doing that because this is what always happens at the beginning of the podcast. In the middle of the podcast, right, I'm sharing examples. And then at the very end, they're saying the same kinds of things.
What you thought about it. You're not cheating. You're not lying. You're not making things up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And then he comes and engages on it. And so what I did was I wrote a blog. I recorded a video of my friend, or a review of my friend who's a very well-known doctor. And I recorded this video live. Then I transcribed it using one of these tools in the same way you can use SEMrush, but I was using Descript, right? Transcribed it, made a blog post on the fly. No, I bet you've never seen that before, right? Record a video right now, turn it into a blog post, turn it into a tweet, turn it into a Facebook post, and then I run ads against it. So I did the whole thing live. I demonstrated how to do the whole thing, right? And they never seen it before. It took me only 5 minutes to do this whole thing. Yeah, here it is. So Dr. Philip Ovadia, I made a little video. I recorded the video, automatic transcription, logged into WordPress, made the post, tweeted about it, put it on, whatever, ran $1 a day against it, ran ads against it, right? And they were blown away. And so then they give feedback about how blown away they are here. And they say, wow, this is so amazing. It's so good.
For targeting.
Yeah.
What other social network does that? That's how it learns so fast.
Then I talk about TikTok, right? And how this is the same algorithm. So there's a ton of episodes of people who, like these influencer people who like SEMrush, right? Like this party in Mexico, right? Like all these well-known people. And, I look at the content we've created together, but a lot of it has not been seen, right? And it's not because these people are not expert. It's because we're not using the angle to get people to distribute and going cross-channel, right? So I'll show you another example. This is something that we're going to launch next month. So Jake Paul?
No, I don't.
He's a number one influencer for young adults, right? He's doing a lot of boxing. So it's this guy here, right? So we spent a year together building this, and we can build SEMrush in this as well. But I just want to show you, this is an example, right? So Jake Paul came to me, Olga, and said, let's create some training for young adults to become influencers. So if I were to say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to be an influencer to some 20-year-old, I have no credibility, right? I'm 47, so it's not going to work. But the person that the number one influencer for young adults, if he says, hey, Dennis and I created this course on how to be an influencer, that's worth a lot more, right? So here.
This is great. This is real great. I'm so excited. So basically, you guys as the audience are going to have to choose between me, Dennis, and Armani on who has to drink the toilet water. So make your decision below.
So then we choose him, right? So this is choose your own adventure,
great.
Right?
So you choose me. I hate you. I'm going to scoop the water out of the toilet. But this is just an example of hooking in the audience because now you guys are engaged and you guys want to see what's going on. One big thing with video making or marketing in general is hooking the audience in right away with some sort of fun, different, unique thing. And obviously, I decided to do it with drinking toilet water. So here we go. This is gross. We have these pure.
So there's 300 different scenes here. And so Jake and I are asking questions on the first one, toilet water is obviously ridiculous just to get your attention.
Yeah.
But then it's, okay, tell me, are you more of a creative person or are you more of an analytical person? Are you better with people? Or are you better with tools? Like, are you looking, which one of these goals? Oh, I want to start e-commerce. I want to make my first website. I want to be sponsored. I want to do a YouTube channel. I want to be like whatever. So whatever choices you choose, then Jake and I say, awesome. You want to learn how to do SEO? Let me introduce you to my friend so-and-so, right? And it's like, oh, hey there, you said you want to learn SEO. Well, let me explain this and this and this. So based on the choices that people are making along the way, we start mapping out this whole path. And
do you use some kind of tool for this? So they would.
It's a very simple tool. There's 6 or 7 different tools that we use to lay this out. So you can see we have these different kinds of choices, right? I'll show you one of them that's really easy. So let's say these are my friends in Israel. They created this thing, Tolstoy. It's free right now because they raised all this VC money, right? So they're just learning right now. And I'm basically their power user. I'm the power user of a lot of tools, you can probably imagine, because they come to me with all the new things they have. So let's just say, and by the way, just imagine we take any of the training we've already made for SEMrush, right? So we don't have to make new training, but let's just pretend this is new training. And then we could take video we've already made and edit it, or I could just make one right here. And I could say, hey, Dennis, you here, and I'm so glad you want to learn about search engine optimization and search engine marketing. But tell me first, are you more interested in PPC or more interested in SEO? Let me know. So now I have this. Now I say the choices are SEO and PPC, right? Okay. Now I'm going to add the answer for SEO. Good choice. That's something I like to do because, it's ongoing and you're not so dependent upon being paid. And that's where the real skill is. So good job. Let's get going. I've got a course for you on how to do SEO. Okay. So that's the SEO choice. And let's learn SEO. And then I can send them to a link. They can record a video. They can fill out a calendar appointment, book a time for a demo, all this kind of stuff. Right? So let's say I send them to a link and maybe I have some course, right?
Yep.
Let's see. Let's see. Send them to this one. Okay. Let's just pretend this is a course or a landing page or something like this. Okay. So here's this one. Okay. Now I record the PPC. PPC. Awesome. That's how we get results right away where we're paying per click. And my friend Olga, who's the global head of marketing at SEMrush, you should learn from her. Click on the link below and you're going to learn all about PPC with Olga from SEMrush. Okay, so there's that. And then the choice is, of course, they can go on to this whole tree, right? Let's talk to Olga.
Yeah.
Now, this one is the intro. This one we said was SEO. SEO. This is PPC. This is obviously a very simplistic example. Obviously, go a lot, fancier. This one, oh, I didn't say PPC. Okay, so there. So now we have made it. And of course we can make it fancy. So let me go ahead.
But where would you publish something like this?
So I can publish it as just a link straight up that I put in social. I can run an ad to it. I can embed it on the site. I can put it in email, right? I have all these different ways of doing this, right? But the fun thing is just literally like this. So now I just made it here. Hey, Dennis, you here. And I'm so glad you want to learn about search engine optimization and search engine marketing. But tell me first, are you more interested in PPC or more interested in SEO? I have to move. I had to put them on the wrong side.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's how we get results right away where we're paying per click. And my friend Olga, who's the global head of marketing at SEMrush, you should learn from her and click on the link below and you're going to learn all about PPC. It's very easy, right? Yeah. And the other thing I was showing was this one, which is cool. I have a lot of these things that I do with these influential people and they really find it's fun, right? So this is another one. Okay. We are here to learn PPC today from our friends at Ahrefs because we believe that Ahrefs is the best tool for PPC and SEO. And I have a 6-part course where I'm going to teach you how to do PPC and SEO together with my friend Olga. And we're learning how to speak clearly. And a lot of people can't speak clearly. So they have lots of filler words like, and they're thinking about what to say because they haven't spoken publicly a lot. Okay, so there's this and it's automatically transcribed, right? Already here. AI shows I'll just say it's me, but then let's see. From our friends at Ahrefs, because we believe that, so let's say I messed up and I said Ahrefs, right? But really I needed to say SEMrush. Okay, so I can fix that. And then we said that we had a 6-part course, right? But actually I messed up. We added one more bonus chapter. So really it's 7, okay? And so the AI is now generating this piece here based on what it knows about my voice, right? You know the deep fake, all this, right?
Yes. Have you used it at all?
Oh yeah, we use it for a lot of agencies. It's a little secret. We don't tell anybody. But we do it with like monthly reports, right? Hey, Olga, I want to let you know, I looked at your monthly report for March and it looked like you drove 27 leads and did this. And I also noticed this one campaign did better than this other campaign. And anyway, I just want to let you know, things look good. I hope your dog is doing well. Let's talk next month. So we just record one of them and then just have hundreds of them. All they look like they are personalized, but they're not. It's cheating.
That's awesome. But have you used deepfakes in any of the campaigns for any of the clients?
So a lot of people think, "Wow, Dennis, thank you so much, for personally replying to me." Right? So don't tell anybody. So look at this, because we believe that SEMrush is the best tool for PPC and SEO. And I have a 7-part course where I'm going to teach. See?
This is crazy.
Huh? Yeah.
And this is also the same tool, or?
No, this is another tool. I have lots. I have like a dozen different tools that do different things.
But which tool does that?
This one's called Descript, and it does everything. So I don't have to use Loom or whatever these others to record. It just records everything inside. I have you can see like all my podcasts, all my videos, everything is here. And so I can chop it up, right? And I can edit the words and it just automatically fixes everything. I can edit a video just like editing a Google Doc, right? And make social snippets, basically do everything, right? And then I have VAs that are doing all this as well, right? So I don't have to do it. I don't have time for this.
This is amazing.
It just makes the team so much faster, right?
Yeah, but does it recognize the accents? Because with transcription, there's always a difficulty when.
So you have to correct it. It learns over time. So I could look at where I was mentioning SEMrush, and I did a search here for SEMrush. See, look at how many times in this one webinar I mentioned SEMrush 13 times, right? So I can just click on one of them, like, let's say, my friends at SEMrush. Okay. For my friends at SEMrush, how do you do SEO and blah, blah, blah. So we can go across, search all our video for any time somebody said a certain word, right?
Yeah.
And then make all kinds of compilations and variations and all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, I turn this into articles. I turn them into tweets. I turn them into Facebook ads or lead ads or TikTok. And then I boost it for $1 a day to get more leads, get more people to consume my content, sign up for the webinar, download the lead magnet, whatever, right? Do the free trial, right?
Okay. Yeah. How often do you do webinars?
Oh, I do them almost every day now. Okay. Lots of them. Yeah.
What's the acceptable number of leads that you would get, and then for the webinar to actually consider it a successful one?
I look more at the number of people that are registered. So
showing up?
Yeah, if we get 150 or so showing up, so if we get 300 people registering, that's pretty good. Yep. But some of them, like masterminds, will have only 30 or 40 people, and I'm fine with that because a lot of people who they're paying $20,000 to be a part of a program. They're qualified. So I actually prefer talking to the smaller mastermind groups than the big webinars that have lots of people, because the people who are high authority, they already have businesses, they already have audiences. It's much easier to get them to agree to do things that I recommend, right? So for example, let's say, name a place in the world, any city.
Istanbul.
I don't think I have Istanbul in here. Name another one.
New York.
New York, that's easy. Okay.
Yeah.
So New York, right? So there's all these videos. Oh, look, there's me and Dr. Oz, right? In New York. Dr. Oz on stage. So I'm making lots of these videos. So it's automatically being tagged with New York. And when I'm making these videos, I can repurpose them into ads, right? Especially when they're saying good things about my stuff. So then I'll be talking about, New York marketing agency, how do you build a brand? I'm interviewing somebody, like here's, James Altucher.
No,
this guy's
I'm here with James Altucher, who was with Jordan Paris. What do you think?
I have never seen such a well-prepared, young, hustling person like Jordan.
Of course, I can take this video and then I can upload it in Descript, cut out all the sound automatically. Yep. And here, I'll just show you this one thing. Do you have time? I'll just show you.
Yes.
Download. Okay, so this one, downloading. There it is. Always a horrible name. So IMG047. Okay. Watch this. So listen to, actually come over here. So do a new project. And I'm going to call this James to sure. I would save it to the right place. Okay, now I'm going to drag this video here. Let's pretend that our video people edited it and all this kind of stuff, or the editing in here, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, the original is terrible because it's noisy. It's on my cell phone. Listen to how bad the audio is.
And really knows what he's doing. I think this podcast is a huge success. I've loved every episode I've watched. He was a great interviewer of me. He asked him all sorts of questions nobody else has asked. Watch the show.
Okay, so that's a good endorsement, but the sound is terrible, isn't it? So it's almost done. And then, you could use Adobe Audition and all these other kinds of tools to clean it up. But I set it so that it automatically applies this feature called Studio Sound.
So I'm here with James Altucher, who was with Jordan Paris.
That's the original sound's bad. So now it's cleaning up the audio and I can decide what level I want it to be. And of course, his name is James Altucher, but the system doesn't know, so I have to fix it. So I come here and I'll say Altucher. So that's just correcting it. It's not changing the sound. It's not deep faking it to say something else. It's just correcting the words, right? So it said this correctly. Okay, now I'm going to play this. Now the sound's been fixed. Listen to this.
So I'm here with James Altucher, who was with Jordan Paris. What do you think? I have never seen such a well-prepared, young, hustling person like Jordan. Really knows what he's doing.
So I can adjust the intensity. Maybe the intensity is a little high. I'll go down to 70, 74. Okay, let's listen now. A little bit of background noise now.
So I'm here with James Altucher, who was with Jordan Paris. What do you think? I have never seen such a well-prepared.
Sounds like a professional microphone, doesn't it? Really good, huh?
So then you would post it on your social media, or where would you do it?
So I would do this and I would say share. So I can export it to YouTube or other sorts of editing tools. But let's say I'll just export the video, right? There, James Altucher, Jordan Paris. Okay. And then I'll come over to, this is where a VA would come in, with some good headline. Right? So we would use like Jasper for the AI copywriting, right? And I just make posts. I can make a post on the company social profile or on my own or whatever, or a combination of the two. And so I'm going to do two of them. I'm going to show you this real quick because I think that your whole marketing team should learn how to do this. Watch this. So easy. So I'll say big props to my man, Jordan Paris. I only just pick this one here. What James Altucher had to say about him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You will not believe here. I need to do some copywriting. You will not believe what James had to say about him. Okay. Right, because I need to clickbait it a little bit, right? Okay, so add a video. That was the original one. This is the edited one.
What social media networks are you using primarily for yourself? I know that you're using all of them, but how would you describe, like, for your personal profile, like the usefulness of LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter? How would you define, or you just cross post it?
We have an army of virtual assistants, so they cross post. So the one that is the easiest to post to is Twitter, because you can just repurpose little snippets, little one sentence. Like you have a 1 hour training podcast, you can pull out little one sentence things, right? So that's the easiest. The hardest one, I think, is LinkedIn or the website, because that's longer form content and it requires us to actually be more thoughtful about it. And it's closer to the actual production of the raw material as opposed to the repurposed stuff. And Facebook is kind of in the middle. And then TikTok is kind of closer to like Instagram and Twitter in a way, right? Holy, what? James Altucher, that's not the correct one, said about Jordan Paris. Dude, I don't even know that's the correct one.
Just don't worry. I understand how. So yeah, we mainly LinkedIn and Twitter. The TikTok and Instagram are completely different. Any insights on the latest TikTok trends or any brands that you would suggest looking?
It's all lead ads. You want to take a crazy picture? Take a crazy picture together? Make a weird face. Okay, good. Now watch this. This is one of my favorite things to do, being silly yet serious with tag. So I'm doing something that obviously is not an advertisement, but I'm trying to show a little personality, because if we get people to see the little personality and who we're associated with and all this now, people who are my audience will see you more. It's not like you're not well known, but you always want to be seen more. So you can see, let me show you this one trick. Our $1 a day thing, right? I've been teaching this $1 a day thing a long time, right? So here, right? See this?
Yes.
So I don't have a huge profile on Twitter. Why is this not? So what I'll do as I run ads, and I'll just choose engagement because people are going to engage on that one. They'll think it's funny, right? And I'm going to call it Olga Funny. Okay. $1 a day. I'll run it for 10 days. It's $10 total. Then I'm going to bid it at 20 cents because they recommend $1.05, which is they just waste money. And then I'm going to target you, and I'm going to target SEMrush. So it's follower lookalikes. What is that? Spell it correctly?
It's 1A. Yes, it's Olga and then ND. Yes.
Oh, okay. So then, okay. So if I put you in here, then it makes recommendations automatically. Anton's not with you anymore, but whatever. Right. And Neil Patel, people know Neil Patel. Well, if I put Neil Patel in, that's going to ruin the targeting because you have one big, it'll drown out the other ones. So Greg Gifford, I like Greg. So Search Engine Journal, yeah, they know who I am. Okay. So now I have this audience and it's 180,000. So that's pretty good. And I'm going to select the tweet that I just made, the organic tweet. This is the same thing on TikTok, by the way. You can boost posts, right? It's just called the Spark ad on TikTok. And we can also run it as a lead ad where we get a 50% completion rate because it autofills just like Facebook. So now I've made this post, right? So I consider Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and TikTok and all of them the same thing. So 29 people have seen it so far. So that's good, right? So then we can take any of our posts that have done well, any of our tweets, any of our Facebook posts, any of our TikToks, any of our LinkedIns even, and then we can just put a little bit of money against it. Even if it, if it's evergreen content, why wouldn't we allow it to keep getting traffic and then repurpose it to all the other channels, right? So what I've been doing is I've been co-creating content with other people. Like I'm flying to go see Perry Marshall and we're filming all the promotion. We just came out with the TikTok book. He's got the #1 book on Facebook ads, which I'm in it, right? But we're filming all these little 15-second video promotions on TikTok. And what is TikTok and how do professionals, not singing, dancing young women, but how do actual professionals use TikTok, which is great, right? And then we're going to repurpose it, run ads against it, leads, webinars, all this, right? So I think that would be great for SEMrush. I'm surprised that there's not more of this from SEMrush.
Well, we do use social media quite extensively. Some of the things just we cannot do and for the sake of consistency. We do run the posts. We don't boost them as much. So the sponsored and organic are really divided. And the strategy behind them is also quite different. But we do use all of the social channels, and content on TikTok is not even connected to the brand at all. It's it's about just search, and we hire stand-up comedians to just make 15 seconds funny videos about funny searches. This has been going quite well, but what we might be testing for TikTok is boosting those to ensure that the audience increases. But in Twitter, it's completely different strategies for organic and paid.
Our view is that increasingly paid is an extension of organic, because whatever does the best organically, we should put the most money on, as long as it satisfies our objective and as long as it's evergreen.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's ultimately a UGC play, right? Just think about all the people that are saying good things about SEMrush. And even though you can have a matrix, so you could have, here's the functional skills, and then here's the different industries, so you have this whole grid. I still think it's way stronger to organize by industry because it allows you to have more consistent and more relevant content creation, and it's better on the paid side because because you can use lead magnets like here's 10 things, or SEO for mortgage broker.
For dentists.
Yeah, exactly. And then you create tons of it's the same book, but you just make it a little bit different on each of them, and you feature the lighthouse. And whoever that lighthouse figurehead is, here, I'll show you dentists. You mentioned dentists. I'll show you one thing. So my friend Glenn Vo's a dentist, and he spends a lot of his time on Facebook, but he's a very good dentist. He's my dentist. I go and see him in Dallas, even though I don't live in Dallas. So this guy. So he's so successful as a dentist that he has 31,000 dentists that follow him.
Okay.
So we've created a lot of training together, which is great because now all his dentists are seeing me and seeing me talk about SEO and PPC and Facebook ads and personal branding and all these kinds of things. And it's great for him. Plus, I interview him on my show and vice versa. So a lot of this co-created content that then we are able to, push out there and get people to try different aspects of SEMrush, right? Or agencies that serve dentists. Then, Glenn and I are talking about this. So then it naturally builds a stronger connection. But because I think most dentists, they're not even aware. All these tools look the same to them, right? Everything in marketing automation looks the same. So because of his groups, because of his email list, because of his website, because of all the guests he's ever interviewed, anyone that's ever seen his content, we can make sure they hear about SEMrush in a way that doesn't look like an advertisement. So we create lots of content together. Like, look at this. So remember I was showing you the choose your own adventure? We did that here. And look at, we have a lot of complexity here with these different modules on how dentists can grow their personal brand. So based on the choices they have, right? You can see, obviously we did this one properly, right? But you're not going to know about this unless you're a dentist, because why would we show this to you if you're not a dentist?
Yeah, especially also search is actually different for different industries. So this is what, we definitely had in the plan. We were recording a lot with clients and then from different industries and then building this from this content.
Yeah. So I have the number one person in real estate. I have the number one dentist. I have the number one mortgage broker, number one home services I have the number one person that each person in the vertical looks up to, that we've created content together. So this is something that I can offer you. I can make introductions, this kind of thing, co-create content.
Okay, that's amazing.
Especially for SEO, right? SEO for each of these things is just, it's always been a big mystery, right?
Yeah, I definitely will double check. So I'll make a note.
Because I think if you don't, you could be creating content that's for, the industries are different. So you could create training and I'm sure the training is good. And, Greg Campbell and other sorts of people, Greg Gifford, they're all very good. But I think it would be way more powerful if you created it together with the figureheads from those industries, not just the pure SEO people, for example, right? That's what I've been doing the last few years. And I find it's just more powerful that way.
I agree. Yeah. I definitely agree. And especially if they already have their communities built. So this is where, the power of influence, as we know.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Dennis, for this session. Very insightful, lots of useful tools.
I'm a big believer in SEMrush. I love what you guys are doing. We've got great ideas. There's a lot of other tools out there. And I would, let me know, like, what can I do to support you guys? I'd love co-creating content. So that's why, like, during COVID, I'd spent all this money and bought all this stuff, learned how to turn video cameras on. But, any way I can help, especially with co-creating content or courses or articles, happy to help, right? Or happy to share the different tools that we're using. We have all this process, all this training, we have all these VAs that are using these different things. So I did kind of a poor job in demonstrating, but we actually have people who they do this for real, right?
No, that's great. Yeah, that's amazing. And actually, even the skill of managing a lot of virtual assistants, I think this is very interesting because this is finding, training, making sure that everybody understands what they do. This is, I think, a very strong skill for today's marketing.
We could do a webinar on that because I look at SEO and PPC tools and I say, okay, so great. They're pointing out opportunities. They're pointing out things that I could do, but the creation of the content, they can't seem to help me, right? Because if I don't create the content, it doesn't matter how many recommendations there are, right?
Yeah.
And then that goes into like the VAs and you need the whole machine, all the people that do the work. And I'm surprised the other tool providers aren't generally, like, I look at so many of this, I'm on the board of whatever, a bunch of these SaaS companies, and they don't really talk about how do you hire marketing people or how do you hire VAs to actually get it done. They just keep talking about their tool and how great their tool is. Well, okay, I don't have anybody to use the tool, so why do you keep talking about the tool?
I agree. And but tools are only as good as the people who use them. So that's absolutely true. All right. Thank you very much. I know that it's very early in the day, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's 11 p.m. at where I am.
Okay. So you should go to bed soon.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dennis. Have a great day and the rest of the week.